Hey guys, how's it going? Tom here, and I'm about to share with you the 5 secrets to closing some of the highest rated hang grippers. Alright, thank you for joining me today. I'm just going to get straight into it. Number 1 is warming up. Number 2 is consistent and varied training. Number 3 is using supporting exercises to help develop your crush strength. Number 4 is learning how to set. And number 5 is using chalk. There we go, there they are. So what I'll do now is just break down each section and we'll look at them in a bit more depth. So warming up. I know a lot of people usually dread warming up and a lot of people just don't warm up at all. But it's an essential part of helping prevent injuries and also improving your strength and aiding recovery. You need to warm up before every session, especially when you're training with hand grippers. You're putting such small muscles and small bones in your hand, your wrist, your forearm under quite a lot of strain, especially when you get into the top level. So you need to make sure you're properly warmed up before every session. So I'll just show you some of my basic stretches and a few things that I use for warm-ups. First of all, I like to do this one called the prayer stretch, where I will put my hand together, raise my elbows up and basically just drop my wrist down until I get a nice stretch at the bottom, and I'll hold it there and then I'll try and rotate my wrist back and forth, which gives a really nice stretch up the forearm and in the wrists. Probably do that for a couple of sets, and then I like to go into these where it's just giving a really nice stretch up the forearm and in the wrists and even with the fingers. And then I change up and do it over the top. I'll do that on both arms a couple of times. You don't need to go mad, just like 30 seconds on each arm. And then I also like to use the grip rings. These are perfect for replicating the crushing motion for when you're closing a hand gripper. Start off at just £30, which is really nice. I just like to keep them going in my hands, get the blood flowing. It just gets my hands used to that crushing motion before I get into the hand grippers. So that's the warm up, couple of minutes before your session, and it'll make a massive difference, not only to injury prevention, but also your recovery. Next up is consistent and varied training. It might sound like something really simple, but consistency really is the key to developing strength. If you're only training once a week, you are going to develop strength over time, but it's not going to be the same if you're training 3 times a week. So by varying your training, I mean, you need to be doing a mix between high reps, low reps, holds for time, inverted. So obviously a standard repetition will be like this, a full repetition from closed, or you can do partial reps where you just open it a little bit. You can do inverted reps, which are going to be focusing more on your index and middle finger, and then just holds for time, which are really good for developing your support grip, which will help your endurance for getting through the whole session. So they're just a few of the exercises I like to do, and it's just about being consistent. Make sure you're getting your sessions in. Hand gripper sessions are the easiest to do. You can take it with you. You could do it at work on your lunch break. There's no excuses not to get a hand gripper training session in. Third on the list is supporting exercises. So that means basically you want to be doing other exercises that are going to develop your crush grip, which is the same grip you use to close the hand grippers. It's that between your fingers and your palm and your thumb crushing in. So for me, I like to do rolling handle as a good accessory. It's exactly the same. I'm grabbing onto the handle as tight as I can, really squeezing on it. And then obviously when it's rotating, it's developing strength in my wrist and my forearm as well. Any sort of thick bar like axle, or if you're lifting with dumbbells, thick grips, they're all really good for developing that crush grip. So it's all about aiding your crush grip, which will then develop your gripper strength. And with your gripper strength, it'll also help your other movements as well. It's a really nice circle, and it's a really good way to help develop strength overall. Number 4, the set. Probably one of the most important things for closing the highest rated grippers is learning how to set properly. I will do another video more in depth on learning how to set, but I will quickly run through how to do it now, or how I would do it anyway. So one of the most important things is the starting position. If you just cup your hand, you can see you've got a crease there in your hand. you want to put this leg of the hand gripper directly in that crease, hopefully with the bottom leg just cutting your bottom finger in half, your pinky there. So you'd put it in, and then this leg of the hand gripper, you want to roughly be cutting the middle of your ring finger in line there. So that'd be sort of like the starting position for my set. And then I will use my other hand with the thumb to make sure that this leg stays in place. And I'll use these two fingers to just wrap around, pull it in tight until I've got the correct width. And then that'll enable me to close the hand gripper. With our Elite series, we are using a 30mm setting block. So for that, I would be in, nice close. I'd put the block through and then close. So learning how to set is really going to give you more of an advantage and more of a chance of closing the highest rated grippers than if you're doing a no set, which is obviously with a Captains of Crush, the spread is slightly wider than our Elite series, just by a couple of mil, but it really makes a big difference, especially if you've got smaller hands. You're going to find it really tough to get a good starting position on the hand gripper. So setting basically makes a level playing field for everyone, and it's essential that you learn how to do it. Last but not least, chalk. It might sound ridiculous, but the amount of times I see people trying to close some massive hand grippers without chalk is crazy. The leg in the hand gripper really needs to be wedged in that crease. And any time it starts slipping, it's really reducing your chances of getting a good close on the hand gripper. The further the gripper goes, the higher your range of motion required is, and the further your fingers are going to need to rat around to close the gripper. So I like to get a bit of chalk and just really make sure it's wedged in that crease there. Obviously you want to get some on your fingers as well, but this part of your hand is really where it's most important to get. And obviously you want a little bit on the hand gripper, but not too much that it's taken away from the knurling. Bit of knurling, bit of chalk, and you're good to go. All right, there we go. That's my top 5 tips or secrets to closing some of the highest rated hand grippers. I know if you give them all a go, you'll really notice some really good results, especially by varying your training and just being consistent, getting a bit of chalk in the hands, learning how to set, warming up and cooling down. It's going to really help prevent injuries, improve your recovery and improve your strength. So let me know how you get on, and thank you for watching.